Your enemies take breaks too. I know a lot of people, myself included, and I don't mean enemies by like, you know, people that you hate, people that you want to destroy in a sort of way. No, I just mean like the opposition, the competition, the people that are racing against you in order to get to this wealth, get to this, end goal, right? And the whole point of this video is to kind of point out that your enemies take breaks too. The opposition takes breaks. There'll be times where they'll take a week off, go on vacation, and maybe they'll spend time with their family. And it's up to you to determine whether or not you want to take the time to use that opportunity to get ahead of them. Now, I know me personally, um, I always like to keep this in mind. It is hard to implement. It's hard to implement just based on the fact that, like it's it's a two there's two different decisions you can make with that. There's a decision of, hey, my competition is doing so good, but they also take breaks, so maybe I should take breaks as well. And then there's also the decision of my competition takes breaks, so I should use that time that the competition, uses those breaks for. I should use that time to get ahead of them. And it's a hard thing to balance, but it's very important to realize that the competition takes breaks as well. And you need to put yourself in a way that gets you ahead. Say, like, the way that you think your competition is constantly working is the way that you must operate. So, as much as you, like, may think, okay, they take breaks, so I should take breaks too, it's actually quite the opposite. If you strive for exactly what they're striving for, you should use the time that they take a break, and push past. Now, it's very important to put under question like why it is you're doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just if you're a lawyer and you're trying to, you know, get ahead of the competition, then yeah, it's understandable. If you're, you know, there's many different reasons why a person would want to get ahead of the competition. It's not just because of this self-loathing. I think most people, yeah, I think actually it's hard because most people do find satisfaction in getting ahead of the competition and saying, I'm better. But in reality, I think that's all life has really been. And if we turn a blind eye to that fact, then, I mean, we'll never really be able to question whether or not we tried our best. And I think all the people that find serenity in life, all the people that, you know, go out into the wilderness and live on their own and go off grid, etc. I mean, one could say they're selfish. One could say that it's just another way to turn a blind eye and pretend as if, just because this makes me happy means that it's a lifestyle for the rest of the world. When in reality, that only comes from the privilege that, you know, us as a society gives them. I think when you ostracize yourself from trying to achieve different goals that society sets to a high standard, for example, like I said, like a lawyer, right? If you choose not to pursue that goal, pursue you know, not saying a lawyer is end all be all, but say like a doctor or just like a tech person, a coder, like that as well. Um, I think that puts a lot of attention to bringing progress into the world, and competition is what keeps people trying to progress. It's not as if it's a bad thing. And when I think about life satisfaction, I don't I don't think we'll ever find a way that's fair. We'll ever find a way that's going to give people a fair chance at life. And I think if we use this chance to just simply scroll TikTok and, it it's not fully recognizing the pain and suffering that other people are going through. I think the way to fully recognize the pain that people go through in other countries, or just talk about like parents, right? To fully recognize why your parents want you to succeed in a sort of way is to, you know, entertain what their idea of success is, so you can come to the understanding yourself. What I mean by that is, when a parent wants you to do a certain thing, like go to college, it's not really about going to college. It's more about, trying to push you ahead past the competition. And if you decide to just wipe that all away and pretend as if the competition doesn't exist, then that's ostracizing yourself from the fact that, you're not going to be able to put a moral standard on anybody else. You're not going to be able to, because you, in specifically, you're just selfish, right? You can't apply, you can't be you can't have a political opinion if you're not going against competition in some sort of way. Like, obviously, there's lazy ways to go about it, but there's also proactive ways, right? It's very hard to articulate what I'm thinking right now. I've only been operating on like 4 hours of sleep right now, but I just need to record down this thought. And it's very selfish to think that turning a blind side to the opposition, to the competition, is a way to find satisfaction in life. I think we as humans, like we haven't succeeded just because we don't, live with, just because we're all lone wolves, right? There's way more lone wolves nowadays, and I think that in itself is just another reason that society is going to crumble. If we don't, a lot of people, they don't entertain the ideas of others because they think it's just, they want to be right. A lot of people just want to be right in a world where there are no answers. And the only answer that'll come is through competition. There will never be peace. There will always be war in some sort of way. It's not like I don't want peace, but there's a reason we have the Olympics. There's a reason people love to see competition, because nothing in life is fair. So when we see this competition and we think to ourselves like, "Wow, I wish I could do that." It's it's dumb because in some sort of way we can push past the boundaries in which we have, as a society, have set. And setting yourself apart from everybody in society is not pushing the boundary. It's just keeping yourself within bounds. So when we see these moments in which our enemies are taking breaks, that is when the true enlightenment comes. That is when we see what really can be done, what is really possible. It's not as if, you know, competition is like sleep, right? You never get up early for anything unless there's an obligation to. And if there's no obligation for competition, then there's really no obligation to do anything really. Like we have to compete with animals for resources, and then we have to compete with other people for resources. And it's just the way of life. We all have limited resources, and we're all just struggling to survive. So turning a blind side to this is just basically, it's in the same light as offing yourself. It's hard. It's hard to try and match up to the competition. It's incredibly hard. But it's something that, there must be an attempt for. Like I always dream of living in a utopia, right? I dream of what heaven's like. But I understand that won't be in my lifetime. There's a reason the world is made the way it is. Because it's all just going to end in some way or some shape or form. It's not infinite. So when we see the competition taking breaks, that is that is understanding that they acknowledge that there needs to be some kind of, you know, satisfaction, right? And so when they reach for this satisfaction from all the things that they have accomplished, it's almost as if they're saying, I'm satisfied. And when you see them saying that, that just means it is up to the competition to push the boundaries of what they've achieved. I think that's all for today. Thanks.